Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale.
In a move that shocked the international community, President Donald Trump recently expressed his desire to purchase Greenland, the world's largest island, in an attempt to expand U.S. influence in the Arctic region.
Now, Donald Trump began floating the idea of acquiring Greenland during his first term and has been fixated on it since his re-election.
We need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up.
However, this proposal has sparked immediate backlash from global leaders. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen swiftly rejected the idea, calling it absurd, while French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel voiced strong disapproval, emphasizing the importance of respecting Greenland's sovereignty. This diplomatic rift comes at a time when tensions between the US and Europe are already high, fueled by an ongoing electric vehicle tariff war. Trump's aggressive trade policies have strained relations, particularly with Germany, France, and Denmark, as they retaliate with tariffs on U.S. products, including electric vehicles. The timing of Trump's Greenland remark and the escalating trade conflict signals a deepening divide between the U.S. and its European allies, with both economic and geopolitical stakes hanging in the balance. As the trade war continues, industry leaders, including those in the EV sector, worry that these tensions could have far-reaching economic consequences. With tariffs on electric vehicles already causing disruptions in global markets, Trump's foreign policy ambitions appear to be intensifying the crisis. But what exactly led to this dramatic backlash, and how does it tie into the catastrophic freefall of Tesla's stock and sales? Let's break it all down. Trump's trade war goes global. President Trump's America First policies have never been without controversy, but his latest move, implementing heavy tariffs on European electric vehicle imports, has drawn the ire of key European leaders. German Chancellor Markus Weber, French President, and Danish Prime Minister Søren Christensen have not taken this lightly. In a rare unified stance, the three nations have announced countermeasures, including heavy taxation on American auto imports and reduced subsidies for U.S.-based electric vehicle companies operating in Europe. We cannot stand by and watch America dictate the rules of global trade while undermining the European automotive sector, Chancellor Weber stated in a fiery press conference. If President Trump insists on waging an economic war, we will respond accordingly. Tesla's nightmare, stock and sales plummet. While Tesla has been a dominant force in the EV market for years, recent months have brought a nightmarish reality for the company. With the European Union tightening its grip on American EV imports, Tesla finds itself in an impossible position. The company's latest quarterly reports reveal a staggering 25% drop in global sales, with its stock price plummeting by over 40% in just 3 months. But that's not all. Insiders report that Tesla's production plants in Germany are facing massive slowdowns due to newly imposed restrictions on American EV manufacturers. We are witnessing a shift in power within the industry, says automotive analyst Robert Hayes. With Europe prioritizing its own brands like Volkswagen and Renault, Tesla is losing its dominance rapidly. Musk versus Trump, the unexpected feud. Elon Musk, Tesla's controversial CEO, has historically had a complicated relationship with President Trump. But as Tesla's financial stability comes under attack, Musk has been unusually vocal. In a blistering social media post, Musk fired shots at the administration. Crippling our global competitiveness with reckless tariffs isn't putting America first, it's putting American companies last. This is economic suicide. While Musk's statement resonates with many industry leaders, the Trump administration has shown no signs of backing down. Instead, officials have doubled down, claiming that these tariffs are necessary to protect American jobs and eliminate unfair trade practices. What's next? A looming economic showdown. As tensions rise, experts warn that this trade war could escalate further, leading to even more economic consequences. European nations are reportedly discussing additional sanctions, and rumors are swirling that China may soon enter the fray with its own countermeasures. Meanwhile, Tesla's survival hangs in the balance, with investors growing increasingly anxious about the company's future.
President Trump is vowing to buy a Tesla after the company's stock plunged.
Extend its record-losing streak to 9 straight weeks, dating right back to the inauguration. And that, plus protests at dealerships around the country, is even getting the White House's attention.
Tesla has just seen its market value shrink by $135 billion, dropping from $770 billion to just $635 billion. The question now is, can the company bounce back as tariffs increase, competitors step up, and Elon Musk's controversial statements continue to put Tesla in a difficult position? Let's start by looking at the trade tariffs imposed by the Trump administration. These tariffs have raised the cost of production for Tesla, especially on parts imported from Europe and China. As a result, car prices have gone up, putting pressure on Tesla to keep its pricing competitive, particularly for models like the Model 3 and Model Y. With inflation rising and the cost of living increasing, owning an electric vehicle is becoming more difficult for many American families. Both car prices and operating costs are rising, which could make consumers think twice when choosing between electric cars and traditional vehicles. But Tesla isn't just facing higher costs from tariffs. It's also up against growing competition from major automakers like Volkswagen, Renault, and Stellantis. These competitors are heavily investing in electric vehicles and expanding their product lines. For example, Volkswagen has announced plans to become the largest electric vehicle maker in the world, offering new models at more affordable prices with features that directly compete with Tesla's offerings. This means consumers will have more choices when it comes to buying electric vehicles, and Tesla may no longer be the only option, especially in Europe, where local brands are offering strong competition. In addition to tariffs and competition, Tesla's financial situation is also starting to show signs of strain. Recently, the company's stock has dropped by over 53%, a clear sign of declining investor confidence. On March 14th, Tesla's market value dropped from $770 billion to $635 billion, a huge decrease. This is mainly due to rising tariffs and increasing competition. As investor confidence continues to fall, large financial institutions may begin pulling their investments, leading to a cash shortage for Tesla. This shortage could impact the company's ability to produce and distribute cars, reducing supply and causing car prices to rise even further. With all these challenges, Tesla's future remains uncertain. One thing is clear. The global economic landscape is shifting rapidly, and the fallout from these decisions will be felt for years to come. Will Trump's aggressive policies backfire, costing American businesses billions, or will his bold stance force Europe to the negotiating table? In a jaw-dropping moment that sent shockwaves through Hollywood and Washington alike, legendary actress Meryl Streep took the stage at the prestigious Golden Globe Awards and delivered a scathing takedown of President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. The room fell silent as the Oscar-winning actress launched into a fiery speech that left even the most seasoned political analysts stunned. What exactly did she say that has the Trump administration in full damage control mode? And why is the internet exploding over Melania's unexpected reaction? Let's dive into this explosive drama. Meryl Streep's unfiltered speech. Streep, known for her outspoken political views, took no prisoners as she addressed the crowd. There is a sickness in leadership when power is abused for personal gain and deception is used as a political tool. We have seen this before in history, and we are seeing it again now, she declared. Though she never mentioned Trump by name, the message was crystal clear. She went on to reference his controversial policies, recent scandals, and the ongoing backlash from international leaders. The world is watching, and history will remember those who stood up and those who remained silent, she added, receiving a standing ovation from the audience. Trump's explosive response. Within hours, President Trump took to his social media platform to lash out at Streep. Meryl Streep, one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood, is at it again with her lies. She doesn't know anything about politics, just another leftist trying to stay relevant. The tweet storm didn't stop there. Trump's supporters quickly rallied behind him, calling for a boycott of Streep's movies and accusing Hollywood elites of being out of touch with real Americans. Melania's shocking reaction. But perhaps the most unexpected response came from First Lady Melania Trump. Sources close to the White House claim that Melania was furious over Streep's comments, particularly a pointed remark that seemed to reference her role as First Lady. "Silence is complicity," Streep had said, a line many interpreted as a direct challenge to Melania's perceived inaction. Reports suggest that Melania confronted her inner circle about how to handle the backlash. While she has remained mostly silent on political matters, insiders speculate that she may be feeling increasing pressure to break her silence on key issues. What happens next? With the internet ablaze and both sides digging in, the fallout from this incident is far from over. Will Streep double down and respond to Trump's attacks? Will Melania finally break her silence? And could this moment signal a deeper cultural shift as Hollywood continues to take on politics? In a political earthquake that no one saw coming, Fox News, the network once considered Donald Trump's most loyal media ally, has seemingly turned its back on the president. With the stock market in a full-scale meltdown, Fox News has launched an unexpected and brutal critique of Trump's economic policies, leaving the president scrambling to control the narrative. Fox News' stunning reversal. Once an unwavering supporter of the Trump administration, Fox News has taken a sudden and aggressive stance against the president's recent economic decisions. In a shocking segment aired during prime time, Fox business anchor Neil Cavuto slammed Trump's handling of the trade war, calling it reckless and a self-inflicted wound on the American economy. Market chaos, Trump's policies backfire. The U.S. stock market has suffered its worst downturn in over a decade, with the Dow Jones plunging nearly 2,500 points in just 1 week. Financial analysts attribute the crash to Trump's trade policies and escalating tensions with Europe and China. Trump, visibly frustrated, has taken to social media to blame the Federal Reserve and globalist elites for sabotaging his economic plans. However, with Fox News now openly questioning his leadership, the cracks in his once unbreakable conservative support base are beginning to show. The walls are closing in on President Donald Trump as key members of his administration and longtime allies begin to distance themselves from the embattled leader. With Fox News withdrawing its unwavering support, a market crash sending shockwaves through the economy, and public confidence in freefall, Trump's once loyal inner circle is now at war with itself. The question is, who will remain by his side, and who will jump ship before it's too late? White House in turmoil, leaks, and resignations. Reports from inside the White House suggest that panic has gripped the highest levels of Trump's administration. A senior advisor, speaking anonymously, described the atmosphere as a sinking ship with no lifeboats. Several key figures have either resigned or are rumored to be considering their exit. One of the most significant departures is that of Chief of Staff Mark Reynolds, who abruptly resigned after what insiders claim was a heated argument with Trump over economic policies and handling of the European trade war. "I can't be part of a team that refuses to acknowledge reality," Reynolds reportedly told colleagues before stepping down. Meanwhile, Press Secretary Linda Calloway, who has been a fierce defender of Trump's policies, is said to be weighing her options. A close associate claims she is exhausted from cleaning up Trump's messes every day. Republicans split. Some defend, others distance themselves. The Republican Party is facing one of its most serious fractures in decades. While some, like Senator Tom Harris of Texas, continue to stand by Trump, others are publicly voicing concerns. Senator Mitchell Reeves of Ohio stunned the political world when he declared, "We can't keep making excuses. The stock market is in freefall, our international allies are turning against us, and the American people deserve better." Even former Vice President Mike Pence, once considered Trump's most loyal supporter, has been making subtle yet pointed remarks. "Leadership is about uniting the country, not dividing it," he stated in a recent interview, a comment many interpreted as a direct jab at Trump. Ivanka and Jared, a family divide? Adding to the tension, Whispers from within the Trump family suggest that even Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner are growing weary of the chaos. The couple, who have played major advisory roles, have been noticeably absent from key meetings in recent weeks. They're trying to protect their future, said a former White House staffer. Ivanka has ambitions beyond this presidency, and she knows that being too closely tied to her father's sinking ship could cost her in the long run. Meanwhile, Donald Trump Jr. has doubled down on his father's defense, aggressively attacking critics on social media and calling them traitors to the movement. What's next? The uncertain road ahead. With internal divisions deepening and public opinion shifting, Trump faces an uphill battle. Will he double down on his defiance and attempt to hold his ground, or will the growing cracks in his support force him to make drastic changes? The political landscape is evolving rapidly, and one thing is certain: Trump is facing the biggest fight of his career, and this time he might be running out of allies. What do you think? Will Trump manage to hold on to power, or is this the beginning of the end? Drop your thoughts in the comments. As the nation watches with bated breath, President Trump faces perhaps his most significant challenge yet. The fallout from his policies is growing, with both his international and domestic support dwindling. The president's economic moves have not only put him at odds with European leaders, but have also resulted in a dangerous shift in public sentiment. A palpable anti-Trump movement seems to be taking hold of the American public, and even his own base is starting to question his leadership. The economic woes continue. The stock market's downward spiral has become the focal point of public discourse. Despite Trump's insistence that his policies are designed to strengthen the economy and put America first, many are starting to wonder if the reverse is true. Recent reports show that U.S. industries are suffering at the hands of Trump's trade wars, and major corporations are shifting their operations overseas to avoid tariffs. The situation is increasingly dire, with middle-class workers bearing the brunt of the burden. America first, one Wall Street Journal headline reads, "Not when the middle class is left behind. The financial elite is adjusting, but it's the working Americans, especially in blue-collar industries, who are suffering the most." Analysts predict that unless something drastic changes, the job market will continue to decline, exacerbating the wealth gap and sending millions of families into financial insecurity. In response to the ongoing crisis, Trump has resorted to his usual rhetoric, doubling down on blaming others for his failures. He recently tweeted, "Fake news and Democrats are trying to sabotage everything we've accomplished. The economy is strong, despite their attempts to destroy it. But the problem is, the numbers aren't adding up." Even the conservative-leaning media outlets are starting to call out the contradictions in his claims. The likes of Fox News and other conservative figures, once staunch defenders of his policies, are now beginning to critique his handling of the economy. As the president's policies become more contentious, cracks in the Republican Party are starting to show. High-profile GOP figures are publicly distancing themselves from Trump's rhetoric and approach. Notably, Senator Mitch McConnell has voiced concern over the tariffs and their damaging effects on American businesses. Republican governors are calling for a reconsideration of the trade war with China, fearing it could lead to a long-term recession. These defections signal an internal fracture within the party that Trump has yet to fully address. Several Republican challengers are quietly positioning themselves as more reasonable alternatives, pushing the narrative that Trump's handling of the nation's economy may have irreversibly harmed the party's chances of winning future elections. Trump has been trying to retain control of the narrative by continuing his onslaught of tweets and public statements. In one particularly explosive comment, Trump declared, "The fake news has brainwashed the people into believing we are in trouble." This is all part of their plan to stop the success we've been having. The economy is booming, and people are just too dumb to see it. While his base may still buy into his rhetoric, others are becoming increasingly skeptical. Critics argue that Trump's obsession with blaming the media and his political opponents only distracts from the real issues at hand. In his attempt to shift attention from his faltering economic policies, Trump has turned to other divisive issues to distract the public. One major focus has been his attacks on the media, which he claims are unfairly painting a picture of him as a failure. His war against social media platforms, which he says are censoring conservative voices, has taken center stage. Trump has even suggested that he may sign an executive order to regulate tech companies, sparking further debates on freedom of speech and government overreach. The president's focus on these issues is seen by some as a desperate attempt to deflect from the mounting pressure surrounding his economic missteps. In contrast, others argue that Trump is merely trying to shore up his political power by stirring up his base with populist rhetoric. But is this strategy enough to salvage his presidency? For now, the answer seems unclear. With both public opinion and economic indicators slipping, Trump faces an uphill battle in reversing the damage he's caused. A shift in tone, away from combative rhetoric and toward a more conciliatory approach, may be necessary to stabilize the economy and restore confidence in his leadership. The next few months will prove critical for President Trump. With his handling of the economy increasingly under scrutiny and his public image rapidly deteriorating, he must find a way to unite the country behind his vision or risk losing everything he's worked for. Will he adjust his policies in time to secure the trust of the American people? Or will his presidency crumble under the weight of its own contradictions? Only time will tell. But for now, Trump's economic missteps are dominating headlines, and the world is watching to see how he responds to the rising tide of criticism. What do you think? What's your take on President Trump's economic policies and the current state of affairs? Do you think he can reverse the damage and turn things around? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this evolving story.